Oops, I was muted. I just gotta say I love that song, but I don't know how this works with tributes and all that, so I'll just play clips periodically through, or play periodically through. But today we lost the legend there, Jimmy Buffett. I'm not sure if it was natural causes or old age, or I didn't look too far into it there. And he is one of the few artists I remember growing up listening to with my parents there. And hey, Nemesis, get on up here. Pay your tribute up here. And yeah, Nemesis says, "Rip to the legend." But yeah, Margaritaville. No, actually, Margarita is the first solo song I've heard from Jimmy Buffett. If I remember correctly, he was on a 45-minute bus ride to Houston, I believe. He was on the bus, or they were on the bus for a long time, and it Margaritaville was written and hammered out in 45 minutes. Now I've seen artists take months to sit there and write a song and get a tune down and all that. And Margaritaville, one of the most iconic songs there. Maybe people may not know who Jimmy Buffett is, but it's like you go Margaritaville. Oh wait, that's who sang. It could be like, oh, that's who sang. Everybody knows Margaritaville. There, it's so iconic. But now he's sitting up there drinking his margarita at the Bama Breeze there, and he found his lost shaker of salt. Hey there, Nemesis.
Hey, buddy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. At least Jimmy Buffett found his lost shaker of salt now.
Dude, it's so sad. Like, it's funny. You were talking about it's one of the few artists you remember growing up listening to with your parents, and it's like, yeah, me too, man. Like, they played Margaritaville at my dad's funeral, and it was just like, just hearing it now, it's just like, it's
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know how that works with tributes to artists and all that. With some artists, they don't care if you play the whole song. There are
yep.
other artists 2 seconds in, and they'll hit you. But no, one of the
I
ones. Oh, go ahead.
mhm. Oh, I was just gonna say it's really up to I think not the studio, but whoever owns the musical rights at this point, and it's up in the air. I think I'm not sure if it's MGM or who owns it. It's like,
Warner's music, and hey there, PvP.
Hey guys. Yeah, I
hey,
just I used to watch the news every day. Like years ago, I was a news junkie, but now there's so much bad stuff in the news. I never pay attention to it anymore. So this is the first I've heard that Jimmy had passed on. Was
Yeah,
that just today? I guess.
yeah. So he, yeah, he took up 10 of the 30 spots on the trending tab.
Oh wow. Well, he was
see, and
pretty.
I'm
He's pretty famous, I guess. Like I mean, Margaritaville's been what? That was what, a '70s hit or something. It's been ages, but it's one of those iconic songs, I guess. That like I was never a big Jimmy Buffett fan. Like that's probably actually to think of it, the only song of his I actually know by heart. But it was such a good song, and you heard it everywhere. Like it was constant. One of those songs that was constantly you'd hear cars driving down the street, and they'd be blasting that song on the radio, right?
Yeah.
So it's like wasting away in Margaritaville or whatever the hell the lyrics were. But yeah, I like that song.
No, one of my favorite songs by Jimmy Buffett though is the Bama Breeze.
Yeah, I
At
have
the
to admit, I've
Bama,
never. Oh, go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, like at the Bama Breeze, you feel everyone's. Oh man, now I can't even think. Now I'm on the spot. Now I can't sing the song, sing the lyrics there. I'll pull it up there. And hey there, LDG. No, the Bama Breeze was a bar that he grew up in. There, even Jagger apparently, according to the song, I never fact checked it, but you don't fact check Jimmy Buffett. But apparently, Mick Jagger signed the lady wall in the ladies' bathroom stall, and bought a house near there.
Hmm.
You know, and he was just talking about all the experiences at the bar there, like the bouncer, on Saturday nights, if the girls' skirts were short enough, he'd overlook their fake IDs. Like that.
Oh boy.
And hey, there, Pop.
Hey, Pop. Hey, LDG.
Hi,
And
Pop.
hello, PvP. I don't know if I said hello earlier or not.
No,
But
I probably didn't either, Nemesis. So hi.
yeah, what the heck, man? Jeez, bro.
And hi. I guess I should say hi to our host Gorilla as well before I forget.
Yeah, hey there, PvP. But but Margaritaville, that had to have been like the fastest written and produced song though, because it was done in 45 minutes on a
Really?
bus.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's nuts.
they're on tour or they're driving something. I don't know the exact details. All I know is my dad was telling me a while back that Margaritaville was written in 45 minutes.
You know the
Well,
crazy
sometimes
thing?
songs just come together, right? Like it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like I can't remember how many times over the decades I've read about a famous song that just came out of nowhere and popped into the artist's mind, and they wrote it out like in no time, and it turned into to be like a massively important song right over the years. And that's
right. Paranoid by Black Sabbath comes to mind immediately.
yeah, there's so many songs. Like, I mean, I can't think of any of them off the top of my head, but
Ugh.
there must be hundreds of songs, Nemesis, that the artists just they were riding on a bus or they were flying on a plane or maybe they were on the road with their band in their own van or whatever, and all of a sudden some inspiration hits them and they write down this crazy song and it turns out to be a massively great song, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Welcome, Pop. Welcome.
hey, Pop,
Hey, Pop.
Hey guys, good to see you.
nice to see
Yeah.
you, Pop.
Likewise. Yeah, it
Were
is
you-
sad. I like Jimmy Buffett too, so it's terrible.
There's been
Right.
What?
we've lost a lot of famous people in 2023, have we not?
Yeah, have you mentioned Come Monday?
Oh no, we haven't. Like Come Monday's an amazing song. Son of a Sailor, Fins, Volcano. Like what else? Like
Yeah.
what do you really like about Come Monday, Pop? Because it's funny that you bring up we talk about we were just talking about Margaritaville and the popularity of it, but like he has so many other good songs too that most people just haven't bothered to listen to aside from the hits.
That's my problem, Nemesis. The only song I know by him is Margaritaville because I never really got around to checking out the rest of his music, right? Which I probably should, I suppose, because it sounds like, from what you're saying, he had a lot of really good songs. Uh, but I'm just thinking, how would you classify him? I always thought him as kind of like pop, maybe kind of
Folk?
pop, easy. Yeah, pop, folk, almost easy listening, but not really easy listening. I guess that's not the right term. But I never thought of him as like a rocker or, anything like that. His stuff to me seemed more popish. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's that I don't know if you can classify. Like, I mean, there you've got multiple different versions, right? Like, I remember immediately South Park comes to mind with Drunken Frat Boy Monkey Garbage, which it is not, but
Wow.
like cruise. It's not even cruise rock. It's like it's your own unique blend, right? It's got tropical vibes. It's got like not necessarily reggae feeling, but like. I don't know how you would classify
Yeah.
Jimmy Buffett's music to me.
Well, it's like when I listen to Margaritaville, I get the feeling it's like, he's wasting away in Margaritaville. So he's kind of like this happy-go-lucky, kind of easygoing dude, maybe sitting in an outdoor bar in the tropics somewhere, having a cold one, and just being mellow and enjoying his life. Right. That's always the feeling I got from that song.
Hello,
Well,
Lemon.
well, I told
Hey, Lemon.
hey, Scurvy. And
Hey, Lemon.
well, PvP. I don't know if you heard what I told Nemesis here when he first popped on. Well, at least Jimmy Buffett finally found his lost shaker of salt.
I hope he did at the very least, right?
Yeah.
I doubt his whole life revolved around that.
No, but that was the kind of joke that with Margaritaville that he lost his He was.
No, I get it. I get it, but I'm just saying, I doubt his life revolved around that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and it's fun. Like it's you listen to like a lot of his lyrics, like, and it varies wildly. Like Finn's is about a waitress trying to just survive her night in a club, basically, and getting hit on by all the sharks around her, and she's the only bait in town. You're just like, oh
Huh.
Jesus. Or you got Pencil Thin Mustache, where he's lamenting about like, uh he just wants to be cool, right? And then you've got Son of a Sailor, where he's lamenting about how he was born too late to be a pirate, but too early to be other things. And like Come Monday's about coming back to his wife after being
Yeah.
out on the road and just getting back to the person he loves.
Huh.
well,
ju-
my like. Well,
I'm
go
surprised you
ahead,
haven't
Bob.
heard Come Monday there, PvP.
What's that? What's that, Pop?
I'm surprised you haven't heard Come Monday.
I must admit I'm sadly lacking in knowledge of Jimmy. I must admit the only song I'm familiar with is Margaritaville because that was such a famous hit. I think there's probably no person on earth that hasn't heard that at least one time, right? So yeah, I really should check him out. Hey, is he got like a really good quality greatest hits album or
Yeah,
something I could check out?
Several, yeah. I'm sure he's had
yeah.
several over the years.
If you
The one
guys
I
want to
grew up with was songs we know by heart.
Hey, if you want to post that like in the chat or the private chat, guys, I really appreciate it because that way I could do like a quick listen, in an hour or whatever, and
Okay.
sort of school myself, so to speak. Because I must admit I'm ignorant. The only reason I came on is because I like hanging out with you guys, really. And I thought,
Well,
well, I'll pay my condolences to a very popular singer songwriter. So yeah.
yeah,
Well, he was
yeah.
like he brought me a lot of joys growing up. Like I remember driving around with my dad. Like Jimmy Buffett and my dad will always forever be linked. And it's
Well, that's cool.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Like anytime I hear music, it makes me think of my dad, and it makes
That's
me
what-
happy, sad.
That's how I feel with Buffett too. It brings back a lot of memories.
Well, that's the great
Yeah.
thing about music, isn't it, guys? Like we think back to the music we've loved, from our early age all through the decades, and I can hear a song that I heard like first time like maybe 30, 40 years ago, and it takes me. It's like a transporter in Star Trek. It takes you back, right? It transport you literally almost in your mind back to another time, another place, and you can kind of relive those memories in your head. If that makes any bloody sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it does, of course, because like, go ahead, Pop.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, I agree with you, PvP. That's all.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Bob.
Scurvy here says same here, PvP. I'm not all familiar with this other music. Well, one of my favorites. Oh, go ahead.
No. I keep stepping on you. Go ahead, Gorilla. Say your piece.
No, one of my favorite songs was after Hurricane Katrina devastated the Gulf Coast. There we're having all these well, I wouldn't would they be fundraisers or whatever? But anyhow,
Basically,
the artists
imagine
came
there-
together,
There
and
must have been.
one of Jimmy Buffett's songs that he had there was about his bar that was in Alabama there called the Bama Breeze, and he basically wrote a song telling his experiences there and how with that bar being lost, and he attributed that song to all the Bama breezes across throughout the Gulf.
right? All those little hometown bars that spawned would have or has spawned just so many dreams for so many musicians, whether they be big or small, or is forever gone because of the devastation.
Or people's just their bar of choice, to go to, hang out, have good drinks, And you're saying like at the Bama Breeze, you never drink alone down.
Oh, I missed.
stuff.
Okay.
Or like what? Or he even had a lyric in there. Jimmy got caught smoking a joint out behind the bar, and the tip jar paid his bail.
There you go.
Wow, that must have been one hell of a big tip jar. Must have been a lot of coin in there.
Yeah. Well, actually, bartenders make pretty good bucks there. We had one bartender. He bitched one night because he only got like $50 in tips. It's like fuck you. I don't even get tipped at all. But no, that's that for Jimmy Buffett thing.
No, I
And
think that's a good observation, though. I think a lot of service people do depend on the tips they get in the tip jar. I guess usually they'll divide it up equally between all the staff that are working that shift or whatever.
no,
But
that's a more of a rarity than anything.
no,
Well,
I think
yeah,
it's pretty common here. But
some places do it and some don't.
I think it's pretty common here in my part of the world. But it's like, damn. I mean, I imagine some days tip jars can get like hundreds and hundreds of bucks, thrown in them, right? So it really
Dude, I was
sucks.
getting tips from like Wendy's. It depends on how good your customer service skills are and how personable you are to people.
Oh yeah. If you treat people, give them great service and treat them with respect, and actually take an, even if you're faking it, take an interest in them, how their day's going, right? It's not that hard to do. It's like, hey, how are you? How are you doing today? Just be friendly, and that's going to get you much better tips than if you're like a jackass, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't think I remember the song here. Here, Scurvy here put Cheeseburgers in Paradise is the second most well known
really,
song.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, cheeseburger in paradise. Oh yeah, of course. Like, who doesn't
wow,
love cheeseburger in
I, re-
paradise? Like,
I,
damn,
recognize, I recognize the title, but I don't think I've heard it.
wow,
oh, dude, it's fantastic. Like,
that
it's only 2 minutes and 53 seconds long. Go check it out.
That's like two of my favorite words, cheeseburger in paradise. I have to definitely listen to that one.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that
and there was
is that
there's a go ahead, PvP.
is that on the greatest hits stuff? Like,
Yeah,
Well,
I'm well. If I have to try to send you something here, man, it's gonna bump me out of the chat or bump me
just
off the panel. So
put it in
Well,
the private chat, maybe, if
we'll,
that'll
we'll,
work.
we'll get you something here before the end of
Oh,
the stream.
whatever.
Here.
I can just look up Jimmy Buffett, greatest hits. I can do that after the stream, so it's no big
Yeah.
deal.
right.
I'll find something.
I'm sure the
Now,
songs are all on YouTube.
Oh,
Exactly.
for sure.
Oh man, there's thousands of bloody albums on YouTube. It's actually unreal when you think about the archive we have on here, because I can just about find any album by most bands I'm looking for on here if I just type in the band name and the album title correctly. I usually find stuff, right? So
Yep.
it's amazing, actually.
yeah.
And I am now downloading his songs you know by heart.
I do think
Okay, so apparently, according to Wikipedia, the genre is considered country music. Jimmy Buffett is country music.
Oh, that's too
Yeah.
bad. Well, that's Wikipedia, though. He
I
doesn't always
I
reliable.
never
Hey, man,
thought.
country's fine. Country's good. You got. It's not. Yeah.
Well,
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 that's a
there's
different
No,
conversation.
I'm just saying. I think he crosses genres of music. Like I said, I think
Oh,
he
Yeah.
goes
yeah.
part folk.
I could see Margaritaville being kind of country, but
Right.
I think it's crossed over. Like maybe it's country pop kind of thing.
Well,
well,
it's Florida country, isn't it? Or wherever. Where is Margaritaville?
I always thought it was the pop song.
Margaritaville,
Basically.
wherever you want Margaritaville to be. But
That's fair. That's a good
I think-
answer.
I guess it's.
I thi-
I always think of a guy in a Hawaiian T-shirt hanging out somewhere in a bar in Florida or something, drinking a
Yeah.
margarita.
Maybe it has a misconception. Is it because country music tends to have a certain sound to it? Like the whining and the crying, and Margaritaville doesn't.
Yeah,
No, that's
It
not
uses like tropical instruments, and things like that.
yeah. It's a
That's not
happy. It's a
necessarily
happy
true.
song, right? It's an
But
upbeat tune.
also the problem with when Jimmy Buffett was really popular, the concept of multi-genre hadn't come around yet either.
Oh, you
Yeah,
mean like-
multi-genre artist wasn't really a thing.
Well,
You kind of stuck to your niche, is what you're saying?
Yeah, and he did collaborate with some country singers too. Like he has Alan Jackson's "It's 5 o'clock Somewhere." He that's a duo song with Alan Jackson that him and Alan did.
I think years ago they used to like to put people in a pigeonhole and sort of box them into a particular genre, right? But I think as the decades have gone by, like at least for myself, and you guys know what a big music fan I am, obviously from my avatar here. Um, I am actually quite happy when an artist kind of crosses over a genre or two, or maybe even three. It kind of makes their catalog of music more interesting sometimes, and
Oh,
so yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
but
definitely.
that's not necessarily a good thing either. There, like Taylor Swift, she was pretty good as country, but she didn't. I don't like her hip hop stuff, but
I've never listened to Taylor Swift. I just never got into. I
Oh,
basically
you have heard Taylor Swift. You just don't know it, PvP.
possibly. To me though, music basically died like 20 years ago. Like it was the last band I really got into was the original Smashing Pumpkins and they went to like 1999 in the last century, and after that I just lost interest in music. I mean, actually, don't get me wrong. Actually, I shouldn't say that. There's a couple of bands I really love. Actually, I'll mention them right now. There's a band from LA called Starcrawler, which are great.
Perfect.
They have 3 albums out now, and they're a fantastic young band, dynamic, and they've actually looked back at the past from like the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they've taken a lesson from all those great bands back then. Like they've actually studied them and learned from them, and you can hear echoes of those great decades in music in their music. And there's another one. Oh, it's an Australian band. Oh geez, the name escapes me, but I'll think about it. But there's a great Aussie punk band that I really love right now too. So there are some young bands that are out there that are really exciting actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now, did you even mention what your favorite one was?
Oh, see, and that's like, that's a really hard choice for me. Like, it's most of the songs off of songs you know by heart are on there, right? Like I grew up with that album, like just in the truck, or not. Well, it wasn't even the album because we had the cassette back in the day, right? Like, and I'm looking at the list, and it's like, fuck, there's so many good ones. Like you've got like Changes in Latitudes, Changes in Attitudes. It's a fantastic song. Um, Margaritaville, Son of a Sailor is fantastic. Fins is really good. It's really catchy. It's weird. I'm looking at like He Went to Paris, which is like, it's a story of just someone's life growing up and their love and loss and what they've gone through. And I
Yeah.
don't know, that one's right up there too, right? Like if I were to say songs that were like, that I could just listen to forever. Well, I don't know now, right? Like Margaritaville has completely changed for me since my dad passed. But like, oof, man, what do I pick? There's too many good ones. There's too many good Jimmy Buffett songs, right? Like, A Pirate's Look at 40 is the one that I was referring to when he was lamenting about like wishing he could have grown up as a pirate, or like, and just looking at evaluating his life and like, I think I might have to go for like, see, they've just got completely different energy. He Went to Paris is just a chill but somber song, and like Fins is upbeat and catchy and dancey, and it's. I think I'm gonna go with He Went to Paris.
You know, we don't even really get this anymore. We're talking about songs, you know, how they told stories and that. Do we even get that anymore?
No.
No, that's
Sometimes.
Now we got auto tune.
That's why I can't listen to most modern music. Well, I hate autotune pop. Autotune. it's like robots singing. I can't
It
stand it.
is.
As soon as
Everything's
I
Milli
hear,
Vanilli now.
yeah, as soon as I hear a song come on and it's like auto tuned, like robotic singing, it's like, okay, you can't sing. You're using a technology, device to try to make you sound like you can hit a
Like
note.
Phil
You
Collins. That's
can't.
why I could never stand him.
Oh, yeah, I'm not a Phil Collins fan either, to be honest, Pop. Yeah, I never liked him. Actually, I never got. I was never a big fan of the Peter Gabriel Genesis. I thought they were interesting, and I did like some of their songs. But when Gabriel left to do a solo career, and Phil Collins kind of took over, the singing role, they got so commercial. They just lost me pretty much. Right? It was like, okay, you guys are catchy doing pop rock, but it's like most of it was just crap, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's how I
Yeah,
feel about Genesis. Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's why a lot of new artists won't get nearly as much like tribute as like what we're doing tonight, or how everybody was posting their. Though I don't know how many times I've heard heard the chorus to Margaritaville there as I was scrolling through Twitter today.
The thing is, though, Margaritaville is such a great song. It's like I must have heard that song at least 100 times over the years, on the radio, or maybe I probably even played it on here once in a while just to refresh my memory to enjoy it. And when you've got a great song, you can hear it forever, and it's still great. It's like it's still good, right? A really good song never wears its welcome out, so to speak. At least for me. I don't know.
No, a good
Well,
song should remain timeless to anyone.
well, it depends on how many times you listen to it a day.
Well, for
Well,
sure, right? Well, like
yeah.
that's what I'm trying to think. Like, if you were to listen to one song once a day, which song would you pick, right? Type of thing. Versus like, I couldn't. I said he went to Paris, but fuck, I couldn't listen to that more than 2 or 3 times a day. I'm just like, even Fins, where it's upbeat and catchy. I'm just like, no, no, that's enough, Jimmy. Like, we're good. We're moving on to something else now.
Put the
Yeah.
margarita down, Jimmy.
Right? Like, and don't get me wrong, like, there's a lot of just like what like songs like, and it's funny because like he kept it even when he was sleazy, he kept it, you know, PG. Well, I mean, he was very honest. Why don't we get drunk and screw? Is pretty blatant, right in your face, like
Yeah.
Yeah, that
talking
doesn't
about how he's got a
exact
bed for me and you, but like at the same time, it's still
not
clean
exactly
Uh,
enough that
PG
most
though.
people can sing it.
well, that's why, like with the Bama Breeze, there you get the hint there, but he's so PG. He said he'll let the girls in as long as they got a short enough skirt. He'll ignore their fake IDs.
Yeah, so
Saturday.
if they're young with if they're underage with a short skirt, I'm going for them. That sounds like what you're saying, right, girl?
Well, that's the bouncer. That's the bouncer.
I
That's the
mean,
bouncer.
I guess that's kind of honest though. Like some guys are
Eh,
like that, right? They don't
well,
really give a
well,
damn if they can get some.
well, that's
So,
the
Yeah,
bouncer.
Jerry Lee Lewis,
oh God, he married his what 13-year-old
13-year-old
cousin.
cousin. Yes.
13-year-old cousin. Yeah, I'll never forget reading
Nasty.
about that.
No, no,
God,
Yeah,
that
but
guy
that
was
was.
nasty.
but BBP.
That's the thing though, Pop. The '50s were a whole different culture, right? It's like it
Well,
was just a different age.
it wasn't necessarily only the 50s, but you got to remember it was the southern. I'm talking about the deep south where there's a lot of inbreeding
Uh,
going on,
well, I
and
guess
still to this day.
Jerry Lee was kind. I always thought Jerry Lee was, in spite of his great musical talent, he was a bit of a redneck. I always thought, right? So
What's wrong with being a redneck? I'm a fucking redneck.
you don't seem like a redneck. You seem very
I know.
sophisticated.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, we're all the redneck, man. We're all shades of red when it comes right down to it. It's a matter of how you show it.
It's a complex thing with women, though. It's like, you know, I'm an older guy, and I still think, damn, I'd really like to hook up with a younger lady because I just think younger ladies are more beautiful. To be honest, like I just think older women, most of them, they just don't do it. Yeah. But then I'm like, well, I'm this old guy, so what chance have I gotten? I probably don't even deserve to have a chance. So,
Well, the younger
Right.
they are, the more money you better have is the way it works.
oh, exactly. Yeah. I actually, it's not so much the physical thing. If I met a decent, like a decent looking woman, she doesn't have to be, beautiful or anything by any means. But, I wouldn't really care what her age was if we connected on a personal, intellectual, emotional level. Because really, if you can connect emotionally and intellectually, that's the main thing, isn't it, guys? Like, seriously.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking anyway.
I've
So,
never found that, but yeah, in a perfect world, sure.
yeah, well, I think looks ultimately are secondary if you meet the right person. Because I don't know. I've always had this experience in life where sometimes you'll just meet a certain person and you can just talk for like 5 minutes and you've made a connection, right? It's like you just start relating to them and it's just like you just click together and it goes from there, right? And it's rare, but it does happen once in a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking through Jimmy Buffett's songs here. He didn't really have that too many of them. Maybe about 40 or so songs I see on the list.
Is that
No, he wasn't one of those artists who was forced to basically pump out an album a year. He was able to basically like establish, like, he had time to work on his craft, which was nice. Like, we were talking about how it was Margaritaville was written in like 47 minutes on a bus because, like, well, of course that's what they're doing. If they're on their downtime, they were expected to be writing music and whatnot, and like, not all songs are going to come out in 47 minutes, but like a lot of the people back in the day had to, because that was what it was expected of them by the studio. It's like you tour and you put out an album and you tour and you write the material, get ready to record it within a very limited amount of time because recording was expensive back then. And then you went on tour and supported that album and then carried on that process. And that's why a lot of bands were there was burnout, high burnout, and even today there's high burnout. Like the cost to go on tour for even just like any band in Canada. Like there's one band I really enjoy called Arcspire, and he's on YouTube and he did a thing about it, and it's today to like go out, they basically put themselves like severely in debt, like $20,000-$30,000 in debt to go out and put on a cycle. So if that's how it was nowadays, it was still even worse back in the day when like they didn't have the conveniences of electronics and systems like that, right? Where the bands they're driving themselves, they're paying for everything themselves. So to be able to be like Jimmy Buffett, like, and have a breakout song or a couple breakout songs, and then to be allowed to have the space to breathe, which once again, I don't know Jimmy Buffett's musical career history as well as I should, but
that was
a lot of people don't have that, and he was lucky. And like, go ahead.
Margaritaville was I remember that was probably one of the biggest hits that year anywhere. Like it was just constantly getting airplay, right? And I think once you break through with a total, was it number one? It probably must have been, right? Like it was a huge song. I wasn't even into that kind of sound really, but I even liked the song and enjoyed it. And it wasn't usually my type of music back then.
Yeah, it crossed tastes. Like I'm not a big country western fan, but I love this music too.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Like like they've got country rock, Gulf and Western country. Like nobody can pin down Jimmy Buffett's music, which is the sign of a really good artist, right? Like
he is hard to pin down. I would agree.
Kind of reminds me of James Taylor.
Yeah.
Well,
I think James Taylor is more folk pop to me.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think what part of the reason Margaritaville is pretty big too. You know, it's a song everybody can relate to. It wasn't political. It wasn't depressing. It wasn't about my wife leaving me. It's just, hey, I'm getting drunk on margaritas. Hey, you know,
life's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
good.
it's just a fun, feel good kind of song, right? You can throw that song on any time, any day, and just have a fun listen for a couple minutes and just enjoy it, right? So it's definitely not about any heavy topic or anything. It's just a feel good song, which I think is probably why it was such a huge hit when it came out, right?
Well, and I think that's why there's still the appeal to it today. And I think it's for as long as I think it's going to be one of those songs that are always going to stand the test of time.
Yeah, it's a perennial. I think 100 years from now, people will still be discovering that song and enjoying it. It's just one
Oh,
of those classic songs, right?
Every
oh,
last
that's
bit
what.
right now.
Okay, so this was released in '77. So there's a lot of stuff going on in '77, wasn't there?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, the 1970s had a lot of good music come out.
Well,
Oh,
no, like a lot of stuff that people wanted to get away from.
Well,
No, you had.
was it 77 the same year that Rumors came out from Fleetwood Mac, I think.
sounds about right. I think it might have been 76 pop, but it was around that era, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing was, guys, like I was a teenager in the 70s, and it's like the first few years of the 70s, we still had like the 60s influence, right? For a couple of years. And then I'd say around 73, we got bands like Deep Purple doing songs like Smoke on the Water. And it did start to feel like a new decade because it was just changing. And then, of course, we had, oh my God, we had disco come in what, around 75, 76. And it was like, oh my God, the disco nightmare. Even though I do
God, I'm gonna
appreciate
kill him.
some disco now.
I'm gonna
But
kill
at
you,
the
you
time,
little son of a-
at the time, my friends and I just totally, we hated disco music, even though now I can appreciate some of the better bands. But around 77, if that's what Gorilla was saying when Margaritaville came out, that was the dawn of the punk movement, if you guys remember. And that was my music. Like I was like in my late teens, and I totally glommed onto the whole punk scene and the music. And I probably had like I don't know how many records by different punk bands, and so that was my focus back then. But that's probably the big change. Is like punk was kind of cleaning out what had come before because classic rock was kind of getting tired and boring. Like, you had bands like the Eagles and, a great band, but it was getting kind of tired and boring and repetitious, right? So when punk came in, it brought that new energy, which kind of rejuvenated the music scene and it made it exciting again, basically. So,
Hello,
Yeah.
Daniel. Good to see you.
Yeah. Hey, PvP, can you read the chat on the
I
screen?
certainly would be happy to. PvP would pick I am the eggnog, I am the walrus, cuckoo kajoo.
Yeah. And
That's
welcome,
one of
Daniel.
that's a favorite
Welcome.
Beatles song, by the way. I love that song. That's a great
Yeah.
song. Hey Daniel.
Oh,
So, how late you going to be up tonight, Gorilla?
as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to bed.
Well,
Let's
didn't you
go
say you had to get up early this morning or no?
This morning and tomorrow.
Really?
Oh,
You're working
okay.
on the weekend, man? Oh shit.
No, I gotta go get my daughter.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not
No,
quite
even
so
worse.
Well, wait, she's
At least you're making
12.
money when you're working. No, I kid. I kid. Your daughter's very important.
A kid.
How far away is the drive?
family
20
is
miles.
important. Family's important.
1 mile?
20.
Oh,
20 miles?
okay.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
that's a little ways.
How you liking that new car?
I like it.
So
I
that
like
new
it.
that new vehicle is working out okay for you then, eh, Gorilla?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So, I'm gonna risk the copyright right here.
Oh,
Just play a short clip. Or we could do it back or we could do it backstage.
No, I'll just play the whole thing and then I'll end the stream right after the thing there. Thank you, Daniels and Lemon Pie, for coming, and thank you, Pop Culture PvP and Nemesis, for coming on.
hey,
And
You
thank
are welcome. Thank you for having me. Oh, sorry,
you.
Pop.
very welcome. I'm glad to be here, man.
No need to apologize.
Yeah,
Always
we just
glad to be here.
I'll see you guys later.
we'll all just
Later, buddy.
we just we all came to say a quick tribute and or rest in pieces in that. So
Yes, rip to a legend.
I'm gonna play this and then I'll end the stream at the end of it. This is the Bama Breeze. That end after then at the end here. Yeah, here's to all the Bama Breezes that died at the Gulf Coast from Texas to Florida before the storms. Then hopefully they'll all. That was right after Katrina.
I guess they had to tear a lot of buildings down after Katrina damaged them badly, right, Gorilla?
Oh yeah. And
Yeah, but
welcome.
those bars will, like Jimmy, will remain in our hearts forever.
Yeah.
That
And
was a
welcome.
great song.
Yeah. And welcome.
Are you still live?
Yeah, we are.
You
Yeah,
still
I-
are? Oh, good. I tried to come on.
Pulse is still going.
Yeah, I tried to come on to say my to pay my respects before you. You know, if you ever want to self-destruct your channel with a nice content strike, you know, you should always come and see me first. You know.
I did come
No,
to
I-
see you first.
Yeah.
And I said, "Fuck it, I'll get for Jimmy Buffett. I'll risk it. It'll probably just be a claim, but who knows? They might. I know when what's his name died there. Anybody who played their songs, they just let it slide because they knew there were gonna be tons of tributes.
That
Oh,
might
dude,
be-
I was gonna say, like, if they're striking Jimmy Buffett today, like, come on.
yeah, I think you might be okay, Gorilla, because I agree with Nemesis. Like that would be a very low life thing
Yeah,
to
but
strike.
you guys are thinking like a person. They've got bots and AIs that are doing all this crap. So yeah,
No,
they're gonna
that's
strike
true.
it no matter what.
Oh well, I'm sure Gorilla will let us know in a few days.
Hello, LDG.
Yeah. Hey there, LDG.
Hey, LDG.
And
Howdy, howdy.
yeah, Scurvy says hi to Daniel. And Daniel, I can't remember.
Oh,
Did I
boy.
say hi to you? Well, hi, Daniel. He says the fifth like. And someone named the algorithms lurking. It looks like. Welcome.
Oh, I haven't
the
seen that name
algorithm.
Oh,
before.
watch out.
Unless that's LDG.
No comment.
That
It is LDG. I mean, no, damn it. Sorry, I gave it away. Fuck.
It's a huge secret.
sorry.
It's a secret to everyone.
Yeah. So what's your tribute there, LDG?
My tribute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean my tribute?
Well,
I'm
he said
sorry.
he gave you show your respects, so you know the tribute. him.
No, to your channel before it got kissed goodbye. That's what's the.
Oh,
Oh, and here we thought we were talking about Jimmy Buffett. I was like, gonna be like, "Oh, bro, what's your favorite song and whatnot?" But if that's the case, man, do I have to whip out the tennis balls? I will. I'll do it.
Oh,
I
God.
swear to God.
no, I'm still live. I got no warning. If anything, it'll be a claim. So
Well, you could always just, as soon as it uploads, just trim the end of it off.
Yes.
Yeah, you can always do that too, for sure, right? Like,
well, if I,
I
get
mean, but
claim,
then we would use you though, LDG.
Except
Well,
for
if
this
I
lovely
get-
claim. They'll cut me off, yeah.
yeah, if I get a claim, I'll just trim out that one section. It'll only trim out the song.
That's fair. Yeah, no, like what?
Whatever works.
I think everything we've said so far has been really touching and really held true to the spirit of Jimmy Buffett and the love that we've had for him as a person, as a musician, and the way that his music has touched our lives in some way or another.
Yeah, and really, very few songwriters can tell a good story like that. Like the other person that comes to two others that come to the top of my head is like a couple of Queen songs, and then Tom T. Hall, which he sings. I like beer, and Ray Stevens is another one that could tell a really funny story.
Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah,
Gordon
Lightfoot.
Lightfoot, yeah.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
one.
Gordon Lightfoot, Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. If you guys have never listened to that song, you should, because that's based on an actual historic event, and that's an incredible song.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, PvP. I'll have to hang around at backstage there. I gotta show you. I gotta show you a parody song to the Rex Edmonds Fitzgerald there.
Oh, great. Let's go for it, man.
Oh, it's really bad.
Oh, this is going to be good. Because I think Wreck is one of the great songs ever written, actually.
Yeah, but
I
No,
like
you don't-
Gordon Lightfoot. He's got some
Yeah.
great songs, other like Sundown, and he's got a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah,
And he's
So you don't
Canadian.
get-
Yay!
yeah. You don't get the songwriters like we used to get.
Oh, yeah, we don't. They used to be great songwriters. Well, two of my favorite solo artists are David Bowie and Elvis Costello, because those guys were incredibly brilliant at writing lyrics and constructing, you know, images in your head, basically the way they'd write a song, right? So, anyway, were you going to show something, Gorilla, or am I missing?
No, not on this year. It's nothing I'll show on a Jimmy Buffett tribute there.
Okay.
But does anybody else have anything they want to say, or?
I mean, I'm just thankful for everything that Jimmy did, and it's a hard loss to have. It's real sad.
He was a
So
good
thank you.
talent. May he rest in peace.
Yeah,
So-
Yes.
the Giants are leaving us, it seems, over the last number of years.
I hope he's enjoying his margaritas at the Bama Breeze with his Lost Shaker of Salt there. With that, I'm going to end it. You guys all have a good night, and remember to be a gorilla.